Welcome everybody. Welcome to this sixth session of our information briefings, our brown bag lunch series that we've organized in the past month. We have been organizing these information briefings to provide, of course, information about our work and different work streams that we do at UNOOSA. Not only to talk about what we've done recently, but also about what we are doing and our future plans. So today I will be, in the past sessions, we spoke about the UN SPIDER, so UN platform on space-based information for disaster management and emergency response. We talked about Space for Women, the Space Law for New Space Actors project, the Space Economy Initiative, and Space for Youth. And today we're here to talk about a very, very unique initiative of the office, which is the Access to Space for All initiative. This is a very broad initiative, and the office has developed several activities under this umbrella initiative. And I would really like to point out the unique value of this incredible initiative. We will have some colleagues giving a presentation about what this initiative is about, and because it's something that is quite broader, they will be with us with perhaps a little bit longer than our usual brown bag sessions. So I would like to briefly mention another couple of things. This session is being recorded. We have the recordings of all previous sessions on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't attend them, you can go on our YouTube channel and check them out. I would also ask you to, if you have any questions, please post the questions on the chat. You don't need to wait until the end of the presentation. We will have probably a presentation of around 30-40 minutes and then the Q&A session. But if you have any questions, please post them online, and colleagues will be able to reply as we go along with the presentation, and we will try to reply to them also towards the end of the our session. And another element, please make sure that your microphone and camera are off at all times. This will allow us to have a smooth presentation without any interruption. And I think that from my side, this is it. I would like now to briefly introduce my colleagues. They are Jorge de Rivera, Hazuki Mori, and Wenbing Zhang. And also Ian Freeman. So they will give the presentation, and I think for the time being, I think that's from my side, that's it. And I give the floor to Jorge, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Thank you for your kind introduction, kind words. Let me share my screen so you get a view on the presentation. So thank you to everybody for joining us today. It's really a pleasure to see so much interest in this webinar and in this topic. So we are going to be talking about access to space for all. Before we start that, you first get to know the people that is behind the scenes. So there you have Luc Saint-Pierre, who is the chief of the space application section. Then you have Hazuki Mori and Wenbing Zhang that have been seconded from JAXA and CNSA respectively to the office. So we are very thankful that we can carry out access to space for all with the help of space agencies. And then myself, Jorge, also working in the space application section. But the important thing about Access to Space for All is not us. It's about all the people that we are reaching and all the people that we are impacting. And the pictures of the people that you see below is not from a webinar. It's actually from a meeting, a technical meeting of one of the opportunities about deploying a CubeSat in orbit. And these pictures is like around 85 people that were in the technical meeting from different countries to actually put together this CubeSat. So we are creating an enormous workforce thanks to these opportunities. Let me start with a question to you before we dive in the topics. And this is an open question, and if you want, you can put answers in the chat, and we will be very happy to see interaction in the chat. So the question is, imagine what if a country would become spacefaring, for example, launching satellites, without a national space law and policy, without an economic analysis of the viability of, for instance, creating a space agency or creating a space program, or a lack or a technology roadmap or trained personnel. What do you think will happen? And by the way, we are in the office, we are offering different initiatives that are supporting these different pillars. So just think about it, and if you want to share your thoughts with us, please do so in the chat. I have another question for you on the space sector. You know that 2020 has been a very difficult year. It has been a very difficult year for everybody, and it was struck by COVID-19. Compared to 2019, how many launches do you think have happened in 2020? More than in 2019? The same or less? I'm going to give you the answer. The answer is more. I mean, there is an interest, a strong interest in space. And space is actually, we can call it the internet of tomorrow. There are going to be many developments, and there is no future that you can imagine without the space playing a role in it. And that's what we are trying to tackle in Access to Space for All. What we are doing with this initiative is to provide opportunities, hands-on opportunities to develop the skills for people to work in the space sector in the future. And it's not only in the space sector. I mean, the skills that we are promoting through Access to Space for All, through these opportunities that can be exercised through the opportunities, can be applied to a wide range of sectors. We are talking about the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Access to Space for All is providing hands-on opportunities for exercising those skills, proposing them to have a goal like deploying a CubeSat in space. We cannot do this without partners. In the office, you know the office, we have very limited budget. We don't own any research infrastructure or research facility. And those are provided through a network of partners that you can see there in the screen. I mean, we have partners from space agencies, we have partners from research institutions, and we have partners from the private sector. And they are all providing opportunities to the same initiative, to the Access to Space for All initiative. And you see many different types of cooperation because Access to Space for All is augmenting those opportunities by creating tracks for people to actually follow. So what can happen or what have been successes of Access to Space for All? And you can take also the alternative question, what is if there was no Access to Space for All? Well, we are promoting very much sustainable and responsible behavior from the technical point of view. So policy is very important, but it has to be supported by technology. If you don't have the technology to support the policy is very difficult to implement. So we are doing that in Access to Space for All. And we are also connected to the policy side. I mean, when a country is deploying a CubeSat, utilizing one of the opportunities that we have in Access to Space for All, we are asking that particular country to register the object under the register of objects launched into outer space. But also when the object is deorbited, it's burning into the atmosphere, we are also asking for that. So to keep a very transparent register of objects that exist in outer space. We are, through this initiative, contributing from the technological side. We are asking those who are participating to contribute to that. Not only that, the opportunities that we have under the portfolio of Access to Space for All enable the development and the testing of technologies that can support policy again. For instance, my colleague Hasuki will be presenting in a few minutes, but we have an opportunity which is a drop tower in Bremen in cooperation with SARM and DLR, Space Administration. And that allows to test 9 seconds of microgravity. In those 9 seconds, you can test, for instance, the mechanism for deploying a deorbit sail that can be installed in a satellite. And that's exactly what you have there. We had one of the applications for one of the opportunities that we have with SARM. That was exactly that, deployment of a deorbit sail in the drop tower. And these technologies are very important to support long-term sustainability of outer space activities from the technological point of view. I mean, you can have the policy, but then you need to develop the technology. So Access to Space for All is helping on that side. And there have been a lot of impact. I mean, I could be talking hours about that, but we had some of the applicants have had in their countries twice every 2 weeks a newspaper publishing an article on how they were progressing in developing CubeSat, for instance, and that was reaching the whole country, and that was creating interest in young generations to actually pursue STEM careers. You have also the creation of research institutions and departments in universities. You have also the impact in a country that didn't have access to space before, or were not thinking in putting a satellite in orbit. You have also the impact that the country is envisioning that these opportunities can bring to the country. And also you have, of course, scientific papers published in peer-reviewed journals. So the impact is very large and is basically contributing to a very skilled workforce that can help the country to continue developing activities in space or in other fields, because as I said, the skills that are developed through Access to Space for All are transversal, are STEM skills. Therefore, quality education is very important for us. So if we are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, the Sustainable Development Goals play a central role in the Access to Space for All initiative. We are asking all the applicants to link their experiment or their little infrastructure to be linked to the Sustainable Development Goals, and how it's going to be linked to the different Sustainable Development Goals. But we are mainly focusing on quality education, which is the goal that you have in there. And below the goals, as you know, there are targets and there are indicators. So under quality education, you have target 4.4, which says by 2030, substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills, including technical and vocational skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. So this is what we are fostering also with Access to Space for All, technical skills. And we are talking about jobs also, because those skills are very demanding. So if you look at the slide, I did a search in one of the portals that is offering job opportunities for people in the space field, which is called, well, it's there. And if you see on the right column, you see the latest jobs. And I did the search on the 8th of March, so a couple of days ago, and you see that, I mean, the list is going up to the 8th of March. So the same search on the latest CVs that were published in the same portal, and for the same amount of opportunities or boxes, you go to February. And actually, if you go more and if you do the search in the page, you go to the end of the page of the latest jobs, and the latest CVs, the latest jobs are from this year and the latest CVs are from last year. So there is a huge demand for these technical skills and these technical profiles. And I'm going to tell you a very, very brief story. So when I was a child, my parents were very concerned about my future. And they thought that one of the skills that was needed in the future that I was heading towards was typewriting. And they enrolled me in typewriting courses, I mean, with those machines that you see in the slide. Well, those machines don't exist today. They don't exist. I mean, you have to go to a museum or other places and antiques to basically find those. If you are thinking in the future, it's very difficult to imagine a future where space is not playing a role. So it's very important to invest today for those generations that are going to be working in the future. And the future is, by the way, now, to be prepared for space. Because as I said, I mean, it's increasing. The number of launches, despite there was the COVID, was more than the previous years, last year. And that trend is going to continue. I mean, we see that in the office. So we are trying to create those skill sets in different countries. I mean, you have seen examples there reaching almost 100 people. In Guatemala, we're reaching almost 100 students with one of the opportunities. So that's what we are creating, the workforce of today and the workforce of tomorrow. And to tell you how, I invite my colleague Hazuki Mori to talk to you about the opportunities. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello, everyone. I hope you see my screen. So currently in the Access to Space for All initiative, we have 8 hands-on opportunities organized under these 3 different tracks, which have overarching themes. So these tracks basically offer gradual learning steps that help participants develop capabilities in a sustainable and responsible manner, as my colleague Jorge was saying. So first, the hypergravity microgravity track is designed with the end goal of developing capacity of running space experiments on board orbital vehicles and space stations. As you can see on the left side, we have 2 opportunities that are on ground, and on the right side, you see on orbit opportunities. Below that, you see the satellite development track. We have 2 opportunities which aim at building the capacity to develop, operate, and utilize a satellite. And in the exploration track, this is a new track that we just started this year. The aim is to cover aspects related to space exploration beyond the geostationary orbit. And as you can see here, we have a wonderful set of governmental, intergovernmental, and commercial partners. Partnerships are definitely a distinctive feature of our Access to Space for All initiative. I mean, our partners provide access to state-of-the-art facilities and infrastructures, and they also provide a lot of support for the development of technical and scientific capabilities in the different tracks. As you can see, we have red circles in some of the tracks. So there are some identified gaps that we see, but our office is actively working on expanding its portfolio to meet these demands. And we already have some discussions with some new potential partners, so we're really excited to provide you more with that. So currently, we have 4 opportunities open at the moment. I will dive into the details later, but they are Drop Test, Kibo Cube, Vega C, and ISONScope. For these, we have different target groups. They're defined with our partners. So for the details, please make sure to check out each of the websites. They have the announcement of opportunity document there. Okay, so since we don't have that much time, I'm going to dive into the details of each program. So for the hypergravity microgravity track, I will start with the ground opportunities. We have Drop Tests. Our partners are ZARM and DLR. And this has the aim to provide opportunities to conduct a series of microgravity experiments at the Brim and Drop Tower. The experiment series consists of 5 drops or catapult launches during 1 week, and there's a lot of support from DLR and ZARM through the opportunity. So the application is open until June 30th. Make sure to check out our website. And as you can see here, we have 7 rounds already. The 7th round, we're still trying to get the experiment going on because of COVID. But as you can see, there are many different regions and countries represented. And the objectives, you can see the various types of opportunity, the various types of experiments and research that you can do here. Okay, next is HyperJESS, which is another ground opportunity we have for this track. It is not open, but we are hoping to open a new round hopefully this year. Our partners are the European Space Agency, and this is to provide opportunities to conduct a series of hypergravity experiments at the Large Diameter Centrifuge Facility at ESTEC in the Netherlands. So this is also an amazing facility that lets you your examples to be exposed in acceleration forces of 1 to 20 times of Earth. And currently, we've already picked our first round winner, which is from Thailand. We're waiting for COVID to get a bit better so that we can actually do the experiment campaign. They will be focusing on water meal. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we hope to open the 2nd round soon. Next, we're moving to our orbital opportunities. This is Bartolomeo. We work with Airbus. This will provide opportunities to accommodate a payload on the Airbus Bartolomeo external platform, which is on the International Space Station, and it's open for 3U CubeSat. The first round winner will be announced soon. Next, I'd like to dive into the Chinese space station. We work with China Manned Space Agency, and the aim is to provide people with opportunities to test their own experiments on board the Chinese space station, either inside or outside of the CSS. And this is a great project because we have 9 projects winners selected, and it involved 23 institutions from 17 different UN member states. So you can see that there's a lot of international cooperation going within the teams already. So, and also the research areas varied from different areas. So as you can see here, we're going to, currently the experiments are under development, but you can see that there's a lot of exciting things going on. Okay, the next one is Dream Chaser. This opportunity is not open yet, but we're working with Sierra Nevada Corporation to be able to provide you with opportunities to participate in an orbital space mission utilizing the Dream Chaser. So I hope that we can bring that to you soon. Now I'd like to move on to the satellite development track. We have KiboCube, which is done with our partners, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA. And the aim is to provide opportunities for developing countries to deploy CubeSats from the Japanese Kibo module from the International Space Station. This is already a lot going on here. We have 2 CubeSats that have been deployed, the first satellite of Kenya and Guatemala, and also the first satellite of Mauritius will be deployed later this year. And it's amazing because the applications are open right now. And sorry, I hope you can see my next page. As you can see here, we have had 5 rounds already. You can see the different countries and also the different objectives of each of their CubeSats. So you can see that you can test a lot of different applications with KiboCube. This is currently open. Make sure to check out the KiboCube page for the detailed documents as well. And next we have Vega C. This is also open, and it's open until April 4th, which is coming out in a month. So please, guys, make sure to check out our website. This is provided with Avio, and the aim is to provide an opportunity to deploy a CubeSat of maximum 3U size of using the Vega C launcher. So the first round opened last year, and we're waiting to get your applications. And finally, we have the exploration track and ISONScope. So this is also open, and it's open until May 1st. What we do here is we work with our partners at Keldysh Institute of Applied Mathematics, and we provide small telescopes for to educational and research institutions. And the cooperation is under the ISON, which is the International Scientific Optical Network, and teams are expected to contribute to the observation campaigns of ISON. But you will have a chance to get a telescope and use it for your purposes. Okay, so, and this is not exactly an opportunity under our initiative, but it is a related fellowship program, so I'd like to mention it. It's called PNST. It's a postgraduate study on nanosatellite technology provided with our partners from Japan, Kyushu Institute of Technology and the ministry there. This is an amazing opportunity that provides 3 students in master's courses and 3 students in doctoral courses to enroll in QTech's space engineering course, where you will have a hands-on extensive research opportunity there. So currently the rounds for this year have been closed, but we will open a new round around fall, hopefully September, October this year. So please make sure to keep your eyes open for that. Okay. And I've talked about a lot of the opportunities, but I just want to mention that all the programs under the Access to Space for All contributes to basically Goal 4, quality education, and also Goal 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Since, well, the Access to Space for All initiative provides support and education and training on skill sets for developing cutting edge technology. But as you can see in this slide here, all the applications that come from your projects, your proposals, link to totally different sustainable development goals. So it can link to health, water, and also gender equality with STEM. And I saw in the comments, yes, STEAM, so we should include art, but with all that, we can really contribute to other SDGs. And as you can see in the next slide, this is just an example from our Airbus Bartolomeo opportunity. But as you can see here, 16 out of the 17 SDGs are mentioned and contributed through the links between the proposals. And also SDG 9 and 17, as you can see here, innovation and partnerships are most presented, but all the SDGs can be found. I mean, there are so many links that space has to the SDGs that really the Access to Space for All initiative is really the link that can help to solve these problems. And as you can see, this is just Bartolomeo, but we have 17 countries. So with all the different aid opportunities we have, we really hope that we can reach more people. Okay, I think I've talked enough. I'd like to give the floor to my colleague Wenbin, who will get more into the educational content we have for the initiative.
Hello. I think I cannot control it. Yeah, it worked. Oh, it's too much. Sorry. Okay, I think it's done. Oh, yeah, as my colleague mentioned, one of the most important purpose of Access to Space for All initiative is to address the Sustainable Development Goals number 4, quality education. And to that aim, combining with different tracks, different opportunities, we also have been working on education for initiative, provide knowledge and experience. And the opportunities goes to those who prepares best, and the knowledge goes to everyone who participate in. And so far, we are working on a series of webinars, PNSD program, which my colleague Azuki mentioned it earlier. Last year, we held a PNSD webinar, and 4 PNSD fellows shared their experience. And over 40 people participate in it. And we also think to work on curriculum and MOOCs. Yeah. Yes. So webinars are the most common way that we use, especially under this pandemic situation. Face-to-face cases decreased sharply, and online cases increased accordingly. Last year, for Access to Space for All applicants, we held a series of webinars, tried to provide a guidance for their application. The webinars include many aspects that participants are really interested in, like how to raise awareness about your project, space law and regulations, experience from past winner, and artificial intelligence. Each webinar we held in 2 sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, for covering the different time zone. We do this because we are trying to reach out more people who could have this chance to get close to space science and technology. For each webinar, around 60 participants attend, and in that month, Access to Space for All Twitter content ranked top in the office. And yeah, the first series of webinars in this year is KeepCube Academy. It's a new series of technical webinars to help future applicants, especially who wants to win the opportunity in satellite deployment track. The KeepCube Academy will help applicants for the KeepCube program gain technical knowledge about how to actually design, develop, and test their CubeSat, and how to operate it once it's in the space, and how to utilize the data and that they acquired from their CubeSats to develop useful applications on Earth. It will also support to build a better plan for the project. In January and February, experts from JAXA and collaborating Japanese universities conducted detailed lectures and answered questions about technical aspects for participating in KiboCube. The video and documents of the webinars are now available on UNOOSA's website. And so far, there are two opportunities open in the satellite deployment track. So if you are interested to win one of them, KiboCube Academy is the first thing you have to go through. And after we are preparing a series of webinars called Hypergravity Microgravity webinars. Obviously, it links to our hypergravity microgravity track. And this time we are trying to gather the experts, students, as well as our partners from Europe, America, Asia, and Africa to introduce general aspects of developing and conducting an experiment in the hypergravity microgravity, such as fundamentals, special characteristics, and advantages. Also, what type of research can be done and how to develop an experiment to be conducted in the hypergravity microgravity environment. The webinars will start in April, and we also have a job test opportunity open until June. So stay tuned on our series of webinars. And if you would like to know more about microgravity or you are interested in job test experiment. And all the webinars I have mentioned there before are supported by our partners. Without our partnership, there will be no such events. And I will talk about what we are going to do in the future. We know that we cannot train everyone, but we can provide a method to those universities who do not have a space course, but wish to have space courses. And therefore, we hope to develop a curriculum for them. It's a syllabus that contains basic courses, ground-based analog courses, satellite development courses, like that. And if the university would like to take the first step, so the syllabus tells where your foot should put. We hope to develop the curriculum as a baseline of the education in the Access to Space for All. And after the curriculum, we are thinking about Access Space for All MOOCs, a learning platform which contains every pieces of knowledge, experiments, and useful information, provide a better learning experience, and also boosting your competitiveness for access to space for all opportunities. Last but not least, for webinars, fellowship programs, curriculum, and MOOCs, we are wishing more participants. So we know that we are doing the right thing, bring knowledge to everyone and helping the capacity building and SDGs. Also, we are hoping that more partnership could be built for supporting us to achieve our goals. At office, we have really limited budget for even one of them. So participants are important to us, partnership either. And I will stop here and hand the floor back to my colleague. Thank you.
Thank you, Wenbin, and hello everyone. My name's Ian Freeman, and I'm joining now to talk a little bit about exactly what Wenbin was just talking about, partnerships. Because as you can see, the Access to Space for All initiative is a portfolio of activities, all built and fully reliant on collaboration between the UN and an entity, so a third party, often space agencies, but also the private sector as well. And it's this uniqueness about the partnerships between the United Nations and the space community that has really captured some attention both internally in the UN system and then also externally, because it's allowed us to do such an exciting range opportunities for everybody out there. So what you see on your screen now is some of the evidence of the profile of the initiative, in that it's been spoken about by New York colleagues, so the Secretary General's official spokesman. It was in their daily briefing back in October last year. And also the Access to Space for All initiative was directly referenced in the annual report. So this is the things that the Secretary General chooses to highlight as true outstanding achievements of the entire United Nations each year. And as you can see, the links there ready to download with a direct reference to Access to Space for All. So you can see that obviously that instills quite a lot of pride internally here in UNOOSA, but it also underlines the value and the added value that the initiative is bringing to existing services. So it really is something quite unique at the UN. And furthermore, that is evidenced in the social media outreach. You got some statistics there from the last 2 months alone, where you're seeing some really good engagement figures on this particular line of services from our work. So could I just ask you to go to the next slide, please, because I think you know where we're going here. I mean, we're coming to the end of the presentation for today's Brown Bag Lunch, but you've already heard quite a lot about the different values that the Access to Space for All initiative can bring. So talking in terms of SDGs, you've obviously got the SDG 4 component with education, also SDG 9 in terms of industry and building infrastructures, SDG 17 as well, of course, with that partnerships angle. And that's just to get us to the point where the opportunity comes online. Once the opportunity is online, as Hazuki showed with the Airbus one, the implication for the SDGs goes even further, because the particular object or component that's being developed through the partnership obviously can go in many different directions with regards to supporting policy making, if it's an Earth observation or a similar piece of infrastructure that we're talking about. So there's lots and lots of positive spillovers, which is why this is such a core work stream for UNOOSA. It gives us the opportunity to also move away from the technical aspects, as Jorge mentioned at the very start, and have conversations with operators about international space law, concepts of responsible use of the space environment and sustainable use of the space environment. So it really is a catalytic project for UNOOSA. And of course, we're looking to expand the partnerships. We're looking to bring new entities on board to complement the existing portfolio of activities. So to expand the different aspects of space activities that we can use the UN platform to open up to non and emerging spacefaring nations and entities from those groups. So anybody who's interested in adding partnerships to Access to Space for All, very interested in having those conversations. And then, of course, anybody who's interested in supporting in general the overall initiative, because as we've already seen, there's lots of other things that we would like to do to support the specific projects that we've presented today. Could I just ask if we go on to the next slide? Perfect. So there you go. So we're working to fill the gaps, working to expand the different opportunities available. And then obviously there's lots of things that we would like to do if we had basically more financial support. And that's where we get into the angle of the MOOCs, and then also the education for Access to Space for All. And at this point, I'm going to hand back to Jorge just to explain a little bit about what those two areas of expansion going forward that would run in parallel to the specific projects look like in detail. So, Jorge, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yeah, as Ian was mentioning, I mean, we need partnerships. We need more partners to work on filling the current gaps that have been presented by Hazuki in the different opportunities. But we also know that the hands-on opportunities without the theoretical education that enables people to benefit fully from those opportunities is not a complete package. So we are working together in building the educational part of Access to Space for All. And we have been doing so. WebMIM has been presenting the series of webinars that we have been running, and KiboCube Academy is a good example, and the upcoming series of hypergravity and microgravity webinars is also a very good example. But we need to do more. First, we need to help those that want to start on space and setting up space studies in their own countries and in their own universities. We cannot train everybody. So for that, we would like to create a curriculum, an Access to Space for All curriculum, which is providing the set of topics that could contribute to train the people to benefit fully from these opportunities. Then we have been running a series of webinars and several series of webinars, and we have been gathering a lot of content. We would like to put that content in a streamlined manner and more accessible and more user-friendly manner than the videos and the PowerPoints in massive online open courses. Those are the MOOCs. But it doesn't stop there. I mean, with that, you have the first building blocks of a full educational program associated to Access to Space for All that can consist on fellowships and grants, on train-a-trainers scheme to actually train those who can train back in their countries to how to benefit better from these opportunities. We can be running particular courses on specific hardware and software. We can be providing access to collections of tools that can be used for the opportunities. And as you see, I mean, you can start, build upon to actually create and enhance the capabilities that are fostered by the opportunities that we have. I wouldn't like to finish without saying that, I mean, we definitely, and this goes to all the delegations, we appreciate a lot your efforts and your engagement. It has been really a pleasure to be working with you during all these years on putting together Access to Space for All, and everything that you say matters. I mean, we are actively looking for your feedback to improve the initiative and to seek new directions that could be interesting for the initiative. So everything that you say matters. Also, to those that are applying, we are actively listening to them to see what can be interesting for them next to build their capacities. And for those of you who are not interested in applying and are learning here about the initiative, please help us in reaching those who can benefit from these opportunities. We have a hashtag that you can use to share information about Access to Space for All, which is AgSpace for All. You have it down there in the screen. So please help us reaching those who can benefit from these opportunities, because these opportunities are only useful if they are reaching the right people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jorge, and thank you to everybody, Hazuki, Wenbing, and Ian, for the excellent presentation. There have been quite a few questions actually during the presentations, and I must say both Hazuki and Wenbing have been extremely efficient, and I guess that most of these questions were actually addressed. Perhaps just a couple very technical that I'm not sure were replied to. Of course, all the criteria to apply for these opportunities are available on our website. So Hazuki posted these the links, so check that there. But there was somebody asking if the research institutions in countries with space agencies have to apply through the space agencies, or they can do it autonomously. Jorge, perhaps.
Yeah, I can go with that. So each opportunity is different, but if you are looking to the announcement opportunity of the specific opportunity, you will see that normally we are not asking space agencies to apply. Of course, they are welcome to apply, but it's open to research institutions and educational institutions within the country. So it's not only restricted to space agencies, in short.
And if I may add, I wrote in the comments, but you don't have to work with the space agency, but when you go through the register of objects in space, or if you go through other administrative parts, maybe you might need to work with them. And also they might have facilities and infrastructure that you can use, or they can support you. So, I mean, it's always nice to have connections there. So I think it's great that if you reach out, but of course you don't have to work with them. I mean, we're open to research institutions and educational places. So please check our announcement of opportunity.
Thanks, Jorge, and thanks, Suzuki. And there was another question on specifically on drop tests. Is if, as an Austrian institution, they can apply for the drop test opportunity.
Definitely, yes. Drop test is an opportunity that is open to all institutions. I mean, not all institutions, all educational and research institutions. So just check the announcement opportunity, and you will see that an Austrian institution, for instance, educational institutions in particular, because we are targeting with drop test educational institutions, are welcome to apply.
Thank you very much. I think that now we are going towards the end of the webinar, and I must say that it's been really great to hear to all these opportunities and exciting times ahead with the announcements of the results of Airbus partnership, and also make sure that you check our webpage on the opportunities. There are some of them are open with deadlines coming up, so please check them out. I would say from my side, this is pretty much it. I'd like to thank you all again for participating to this brown bag. This was actually the last one of our session, but we might have other in the futures to present you other activities that the office is doing. Thank you again for your time. We will send you the presentation and you will find by email, and you will find the recording on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us, and I wish you a very wonderful day or evening. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.